Alrighty, what's going on out there, peeps? Okay, so there's not a whole lot of news this morning. Well, there's a little bit, but not a whole lot. Something about ISIS, real quick. But I want to mention something in this video. Uh, and as I lead into this right here, as you guys know, we've been working with Money Metals Exchange. I'm grateful to have them aboard. You guys just give them a call at 800-800-1865. Make sure you tell them that Pimpy sent you, or Pimpy's investment chat, and they'll hook you up with the free half-ounce coin of silver. So with your order. So that's all you have to do. Just mention Pimpy. That's it. And you can get that. So that's a pretty good deal, picking up some free silver. All right. So don't be shy. Call them up. For those people who don't think you can afford it, you'd be surprised. All right. I'm concerned about what's going on around the world a little bit in regards to there's definitely something going on. Definitely something going on. I know the Iraqi dinar is part of it. I haven't quite figured it out yet, but there's definitely something weird going on. There's a lot of stress testing going on banks around the world. Stress testing is whenever they try to, do a slight shock to the stock exchange or something that would cause a semi-panic of people running to the bank. And they want to make sure that the banks, first of all, are liquid enough so that if there was a mad rush to the bank, that they would have enough money to give to people if people panic for whatever reason. That's one form of a stress test. Also, digitally, you see people panic. But there are some articles I found. I'll try to share them later on. But I think it's worth noting because I keep telling you guys this is what's coming up. What happened in Cyprus was a test run. All right. It's also happened in, I think it was, I did a video and I showed you two other countries, India, and in Australia is currently either did a bail-in or there's a lot of talk about a bail-in, and I did a video showing you guys that. A bail-in is not good. I know we talk about Nasera, Jacera a lot, but I'm trying to figure out how the two tie in together. Because we also know in order for us to go into whatever this new monetary system is, whatever's coming up, this change, whatever it is, all this is just prepping us. They're preparing us, all these test runs. This has been going on now since about 2008. And I told you that even before the Rona showed up, I told you guys that every time they do a system change or they crash the system, what did I say? It usually goes hand in hand with some type of pandemic. Okay, so look, it's definitely here. Whatever the system is, we're definitely in a unique position right now. All right, and how all this ties in, I'm not quite sure, but it definitely looks like there's something big going on. And Iraqi dinar is, believe it or not, a big part of it. So very interesting to see what's going on. I'll do an article in details about that later on. For those of you who don't know, I have Pimpy's Investment Chat. It's the same name as the YouTube channel. I will leave a link in the description. Can join us over here because we do talk about Nasera, Jacera. All right, not political stuff over here. And none of that stuff that most people think is conspiracy. But just anything and everything to do with investments. Gold, silver, cryptocurrencies, stocks, Iraqi dinar, Vietnam bong, the Vietnam bong, okay, for all you 420 people. All right, so the hidden things in front of your eyes is where we do all the more current events as well as what's going on with items that would be considered conspiracy. All right, this would be your group. I also got a YouTube channel that goes with this, and yes, I know I've been neglecting the videos, but I will start making them again. So look, real quick, what's going on over in Iraq? Apparently, they do got a handle on what's going on with ISIS. On Thursday, the Popular Mobilization Forces targeted an ISIS gang with artillery fire north of Al-Din. A statement to the crowd stated that the leadership of the Samara operations boycott of the popular crowd targeted the terrorist organization ISIS with artillery shells in the Kush area. And I'm joking about 420, and they talk about the Kush area. Okay. Adjacent to the boycott of the responsibility north of the holy city of Samara. So, yeah, I told you guys the other day we did an article. There is this type of operations that's going on. Well, actually, it's been going on for quite a long time. In the beginning, I told you Trump sent in over a special type of unit that was specific for hunting. And they've been running with some of the, what do you want to call them, our coalition group, and also a small group of special forces for Iraq. And they've been taking down Iraqi groups all over the place. And then all of a sudden, the Iraqi people took charge like they should. They're trying to prove to the world that they're capable of handling their own problems, and they've been doing very well. So it looks like they have. And the other day they reported that they had chased out the remnants of the ISIS gang. So that's interesting that they would say that, considering the ISIS is not just a terrorist group, but it's also an ideology. You have to change the way they think in order to stop terrorism altogether. All right. All right. So Al-Qadimi instructs the selection of the competent personnel from the border crossing. Okay. So the other day I showed you an article that one of the Ministry of Finance said you could create about 1 million jobs for border crossings, and it would strengthen the economy of Iraq big time. Because what happens is a lot of people smuggle goods in and out, goods that are cheaper than what Iraq's paying for them. There's a huge black market there, and most of how this happens is by illegal border crossing. Okay, so they want to strengthen up the borders, and that's what Al-Qadimi is saying. Look, let's start picking some competent people. Let's get them out there and employ them to do the keep an eye on the border crossing. A lot of smuggling is going on there. There's a lot of illegal activity, as you are well aware. So this is what this article about right here is. Al-Qadimi instructs the selection of competent personnel from the border crossing. Okay, so they are meeting to set up the border protection there. Kind of sounds ironic. It's almost like build the wall, huh? The meeting with the Prime Minister had important outputs by agreeing to the number of measures necessary for the provisions of control of the mechanism work in the border crossings, and finding plans to increase the level of revenue and stressing the prevention of any external interference amid at tampering with the state's capabilities and creating a safe environment for workers at the border crossing. How about build a wall? Drain the Iraqi swamp. That might help. There are a number of important decisions that will be issued to reinforce the work of the port authorities with the provisions of its strict control through its legal powers in supervision control, audit, securing investigations of all departments operating in the ports in a way that achieves government directions and support the federal budget by maximizing revenues. So again, this is where they tax people coming in and out. There are fees for coming in and out. Being able to control the border would definitely stop a lot of the black market stuff that's going on there that affects their definitely affects their economy, and it also allows them to create more revenue via fees. Yeah, so this has been a little bit of a talk. There's a lot going on. I'm anticipating this visit. I don't know about you guys. We know it's coming up here in a couple of weeks. I'm curious to see how this works out. A new development regarding the salaries of the next 3 months in Iraq. So it looks to me like they've already settled what they needed to do and have already deposited money to cover salaries for July, August, and September. This is good. This shouldn't be an issue. Okay, the Central Bank of Iraq on Thursday suggested paying the salaries of the state employees at the beginning of next week, indicating a rededuction of bonds to the Ministry of Finance to secure salaries for a period of 3 months. Okay, so these bonds will enable the ministry to secure the salaries of employees for the months of July, August, and September, noting that the bank had made it easier for the Ministry of Finance to process the debt repayment for a period of 10 years. That's a heck of a time to pay 3 months worth of salaries. Seems to me like there's a lot more going on there. So depositing 4 trillion and 300 billion dinars in the accounts of banks since last Wednesday, pointing out that the finance can receive money from banks, suggesting that the salaries of the employees be paid at the beginning of next week. So I noticed that not only in the United States are we pumping out money like it's candy. I mean, it's just going and going. It's just really killing the value of the dollar. Well, not yet. Right now, we still have a strong dollar. But Iraq did this. Zimbabwe did this. We're seeing a lot of countries, and they're using the coronavirus as an excuse. So, look, I'm excited that they're getting rid of the old system. I really want them to go back to gold and silver. That's what I'm hoping happens here. I have a feeling they're going to try to push us back into digital currency. They're going to try to use money as an excuse. I mean, we've been going on for years with diseases passing back and forth on money, but you don't see them canceling out money. But don't make no doubt about it. They're going to use it as an excuse. The government wants to control you more. They want to force you to do what they want. And one of that ways is to just take your physical money away. So you go to digital. And if it does, if they try to force you into digital, they're going to make every excuse in the world. They're going to say it's too expensive. We don't have the right paper. They'll make every excuse in the world. You're already seeing it now. They're already talking about coin shortages. Oh, we can't do coins. Pretty soon they'll say, oh, money. They'll blame the coronavirus on it. That's what they're going to keep doing. Good, let them crash the system, but we can't go 100% cashless. We can't go 100% digital. It's not going to work. Okay, because if they do and they control that, what happens if the power goes out? What happens if, you don't have access? What happens if the government don't like what you're doing? Just cut your money off. You know what I mean? You don't want the government or anywhere in the world to have that kind of control. Even if the first people that got a hold of it had good intentions, make no doubt about it, that there are evil deep state people out there that once they got into power would use that for real nefarious reasons. Okay, so that's where we are right now with the Iraqi dinar. Look, it's going good. It's going smooth. Better than it ever has before. So before, when we used to get excited about this news, now it's coming out so commonplace that we don't even think about it hardly no more as anything overly exciting, because we're used to Al-Qadimi cracking the whip on people. You know what I mean? So look, and it looks like they got ISIS under control. So that's it for now. There are many of us out there in not just the Dinar community, in other communities. There's something definitely happening in July. I don't know what it is. There's major announcements getting ready to come from Trump. We have, a lot of people in the gold and silver targeting July as some kind of special month for a reset. So, and then we have a lot of currencies that definitely needed a reset. So whenever you look at how they revalue gold and silver, they take an order and they increase the value to meet the amount of money that has been pushed out there. And there has been trillions upon trillions upon trillions of dollars. This is why I can't stress it enough when I tell you guys, start buying gold and silver, because they have to increase these values big time in order to support the amount of money that's out there. And we know just since this year alone, I think it's been $4 trillion has been pumped into the system. Yeah, that's going to make the value of gold and silver jump up big time. 800-1865, Money Metals Exchange, Town Pimpy sent you. And pick up a ½ ounce of free silver. All right, you guys. Anyways, if you like the video, hit the thumbs up button. If you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel. And I surely do appreciate it. Until this afternoon, I'll talk to you guys later.